The Lagos state government has mulled the idea of establishing an airline for passenger operations just as the state prepares for the groundbreaking commencement of the construction of its own airport in Lekki. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu disclosed the plan during a town hall meeting with the Lagos West Senatorial District, where he presented his administration scorecard and also announced the construction of the 4th Mainland Bridge in the next 2 months.
The People's Town Hall meeting for the Lagos West Senatorial District holding at Balmoral Convention Center, Ikeja, is all part of the open door policy of the administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
At the breaking of the day, I thank my maker, say I see today. The clouds are fading up, I see the sun rising again, but I still see something new. I see a greater Lagos rising from the womb time. It's a new city being built with fresh.
This town hall meeting is an opportunity for the state government to give account of its achievement, and the Commissioner of Information and Strategy takes the lead.
It is our duty to render accounts and assure our army of stakeholders and shareholders that despite the turbulence that we may have felt, that the ship of state is actually in the hands of experienced captains, and it remains very steady. That is what we have come here to do today. Mr. Governor will tell you how far we have gone in our journey to a greater Lagos, since we have invested your votes in him for a second term in office. The philosophy of the Sanwo-Olu AMSAT administration is that for democracy to maintain its essence, the active involvement of the people in governance must be encouraged, and that is what we are doing in Lagos. This is because the citizens, they are the bedrock of democracy. It is therefore in furtherance of this principle that we are gathered here today to further promote our agenda of running an open government, a transparent government, an all-inclusive government through the instrumentality of the Themes Plus agenda.
Governor Sanwo-Olu reels out part of his scorecard, the projects on the way with specific attention on the long-awaited 4th Mainland Bridge.
We've built more schools in the last 4 years than we've done in the last 8 years prior. We've built more hospitals in the last 4 years than in the last 8 years prior. The records are there. We have intervened almost in all spheres of life. And so we want to do it for the next 3.5 years. We want to even do it faster and quicker for you. And so when environment goes out and says that it's cleaning the right of way, it's because it wants to keep your future. And the future is that we don't want drainage, when rain comes, to sweep out all our buildings. The right of way for the drainage channels have been set. We know that we're a coastal state. We know that in some parts we're beneath the sea level. So we need to be able to stay and understand that when we have drainage right of way, it is for us to be able to take the waters when they come. And some people have turned it into structures they built on it. We will not allow or condone it. So we believe that part of the things that we're doing on our transportation master plan is for us to enhance and improve all the 3 major traffic management solutions. We promise you an integrated urban mass transportation system that uses rail, that uses waterways, that uses road, BRT road. Before the end of February, in fact, the ferries are ready. We're commissioning additional 12 ferries that will be handing over. I don't know if it is new with that ferry that will hand it over, or with private operators that will hand it over. The ferries have been completed. They are doing water testing right now, and each one of them can carry between 35 to 40 passengers on our waterways. This will complement about 20-something other ferries that were procured, that we are currently using, so that we can decongest the road and take people to also use our waterways more. And so with the simple carry cards, Lagos has delivered on our integrated urban mass transportation system. And today, over 4 million Lagosians are carrying the blue carry card. electric vehicles, and electric buses into our city buses. We believe this will help us reduce our greenhouse emission and our vision to have a zero carbon emission in the year 2050 will be on track. I know people are going to ask me questions around the 4th Mainland Bridge. Our commitment is that within this first quarter, meaning that by the end of March or April, we should break grounds to start the construction of the 4th Mainland Bridge. It's going to be built in phases. The phase 1 will be from the junction in Abraham all the way to the waterfront that we have at Baduri, right? And I'm using this opportunity to also say that we have done extensive studies. So you cannot get a new road without needing to do a bit of discomfort. But we will ensure that we compensate everybody that their property or their businesses will be disturbed by this new construction. But it's going to be along existing corridors, so there will be few buildings that will be touched, but I want to assure you that not only will the landlord be paid full compensation, places where we have tenants as well too, we'll ensure that we also compensate them and we'll ensure that nobody is unduly, taking advantage of it. So that will be the first thing. The first 2 of it will be the bridge crossing, which will be from the waterfront in Ado all the way to Ibeshe in Ikorodu. And the third phase will now take us through all the way to Italewa Junction, all the way from Ibeshe. And eventually, if it is this government, another government, will take it all the way to Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. That is how the 4th Mainland, which is a total of 37 kilometers, will meander all throughout Lagos.
Beneficiaries of the State Empowerment Scheme commend the government.
I was called upon that government has a package for me, and they gave me an oven in 2020, and with that oven, God has been helping me. I've expanded my business. September, from the little shop I'm managing, God gave me another shop, and I'm now an employer of some laborers.
Wọ́n pè mí fún owó 50,000 kí n máa fi tajà. Mo wá dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá Mr. Babájídé Olúṣọlá Sanwo-Olu ẹni ní àgùn.
While the religious leaders, traditional rulers and other residents share their areas of concern in the state.
With all the efforts we are making with security outfits in Lagos, if we have established our own state police, we are capable of handling our own insecurity in Lagos. We are always number 1, and we should push for the state policing in Lagos State.
What I like to say is, number 1, whether you are an Okada man or Marwa, they must obey traffic rules and regulations. And we must tell LASMA to apprehend any offenders. A lot of accidents have been happening, and we must checkmate this.
If we can have Ibom Air, why don't we have Lagos Air?
Most of the questions raised are carefully dealt with by the governor.
Regarding the state police, I imagine that is also an ongoing conversation, right? At the federal level, it's an ongoing conversation, and we are not giving up on it. But like I've said, we're a federation, it has to be a negotiation. It has to be, it's not just a pronouncement. Nobody can just make a pronouncement. There has to be constitutional changes that has to happen, for all of that to happen. So, and we have a functional neighborhood watch. These are 6,000-7,000 men that are in the nooks and crannies of the state, and we also want to improve that number because we have seen the efficiency of their work and we have seen the benefits. LASMA will continue to raise the bar. LASMA will continue to remain relevant, and LASMA will continue to ensure that their responsibility in the state are kept in focus. We'll continue to train LASMA. We'll continue to ensure that we give them all the right skills and the right instruments and equipment to be able to discharge their responsibility without fear or favor. Why can't we have Lagos here? shall combine. It is in the works. These are part of the topic. You know, we want to under-promise and over-deliver. It's been in our works. Deputy will tell you, I've been working on it for the past 4 or 5 months, but I don't want to make an announcement until I have clarity. And for us, it's also very strategic. If we're planning to build an airport, it just makes sense that we also have an airline that will also be a hub for the airport. But our plan is that we just don't want to go the way of others. We have done rail, we have done waterways, we have done road. The only thing that is remaining for us is air. And by the grace of God, we will have it. We'll be discussing it, but it's more, around the operationalization of it as against the finance of it. So we need to get it right.
The conversation continues with other senatorial districts across the state, and the state government promises to implement the themes plus development agenda for the benefit of the people.